Alrighty, all. Hello, and welcome to basically a review of Taxi, the French film from 1998. I recently just looked at a clip. It's I found out one of the opening scenes of the movie actually, and this was suggested to me a lot due to like kind of a racing connection with one of the stars of the show, which would be the Taxi, right? The modified, very race car like Peugeot 406, which, by the way, was hella awesome. I don't think you need me to tell you that. Yeah, I loved it. Such a cool freaking car. And, the kind of ridiculous way that it transforms a little bit, hits a couple little switches and it does the kind of, super speed transformation where it gets all the aero and body work, the widened track width and gets a little louder and stuff. Yeah, it's cool. It's fun to watch, of course. But yeah, people suggested that I take a look at, so I took a look at that scene, and it got me hooked. And so rather than do like a whole, reaction to the movie, which I've never done any movie reactions, I'm not really interested in that right now anyway. I wanted to just kind of watch it on my own time, so I ended up watching it, with my wife, one of these recent nights. I was so lucky to find it on YouTube, of all places, and not like uploaded by someone, but rather through YouTube Movies, which is like a thing on YouTube. They'll have movies where you can like pay to rent them, or you can watch them for free, just with some ads sprinkled in, kind of like watching a movie on TV, I guess. So we watched it on our TV and through YouTube, and it was awesome. It was the original movie from '98. It was the actual French, version. So everyone was speaking French. It was the real movie, and of course had English subtitles. My wife knows French, but I don't, so, pretty cool. I liked that was the original version, because I like to embrace things for how they are, right? Kind of the whole point of this journey for me is exploring the world and learning about different things, breaking that American bubble, right? I don't, or really haven't seen a lot of foreign films, and this got me really interested, right? Because it kind of fits the theme of what I'm doing on this channel, is discovering different places. So I wouldn't have wanted like an Americanized version to this. I wouldn't have wanted even like an English dubbed version. I'd rather watch the original, of course, with subtitles, so I can at least understand what's going on. But it felt better that way, right? Hearing everyone speak their native tongue and not have it just totally butchered and reworked, if that makes sense. But yeah, I really enjoyed the film. By the way, I'm not like a movie reviewer, so this might be all over the place. I'm just gonna kind of candidly record this and do my best, right? Remember, if you haven't seen me, I'm like huge car guy, so this would be right up my alley anyway. And of course, like I said, I like learning about different things around the world, especially, in this case, Europe, more specifically France. And yeah, first off, the car was awesome. As I said, we don't have those cars here. I would love to, in a perfect world, if, with the import law, you can import cars 25 years or older here. Like, I could technically import a 97 Peugeot 406, I guess, like right now. It would be old enough. And I would love to have just a regular car like that. I actually am just super fascinated with, different car brands and different cars from other countries, because there's quite a lot of vehicles we don't get here in the U.S. And I think it would be so fun to drive this around and see all the looks it would get. Even the normal car, it wouldn't even have to be all modified like the Taxi version. But yeah, moving on to like the cast and stuff, I'm not really like a movie reviewer, right? So I'm not going to act like this is like a professional movie review or anything, but like I thought the cast was great. I thought all the characters were fun and funny. It was like a good mix of comedy and action, and still like a decent plot that made sense, right? I really enjoyed the movie a lot. I thought everyone did their role great, in my opinion. I loved the feud, the kind of like from the outside, right? I'm way over here in the U.S. and, plus we're in a bubble a lot of the time. So it's kind of cool seeing that peek into at least this film, like somewhat European culture, like French culture, and seeing like the little feud between like the French and the Germans, of course, had to do with the movie, right? And I thought that was kind of fun, because of course you have like a German bank robbing gang or syndicate that's going all around Europe to different countries, and then they make their way over to France, of course, for this movie. And it reminded me big time of like, I feel like the original Fast and Furious movies, like the first two, might have got their inspiration from this. I don't know if they would admit that or not, or if that's been documented. I'm not sure. But this, of course, comes before those, because I think the first Fast and Furious was from 2001, I want to say, and it's kind of the same premise, like almost, as this movie, which came first, obviously, where you have the guy that's kind of breaking the law, right? He's driving fast. He's got the modified car, and the police end up, detaining him and are about to get him in big trouble. And then they're like, wait, we kind of need your help. We kind of need your skills, right, to track down this German gang in these, Mercedes 500 something. I think, what is it, the model? Let me look. This says Mercedes-Benz 500E. Yeah, I think this would be correct if I pull up yeah, that's the right car. By the way, these are hella cool. You see my Audi flag back there. I'm a big Audi fan. I've come to really love them, learning about different cars. I think out of the German big companies, I tend to go towards modern Audis as being really cool. And then even older ones like that, the Group B, Audi S1 Quattros and stuff. I think they're badass. But dude, I tell you what, Mercedes has made so many different vehicles, and they're quite fascinating. Some of their cars are really cool. These are awesome. I mean, these are what, like a 90s 500E, and I love the styling. I love the wheels, the wide stance. I think these are actually really freaking cool cars. I would love to drive something like this someday just to feel what they drive like. I bet these are awesome. I'm assuming these are V8s, right? I think they maybe even mentioned that in the movie. V8 rear-wheel drive. I mean, that's a cool car, in my opinion. But yeah, like I said, they end up needing his help. He ends up working with that police inspector, right, that can't pass his driving test. I thought that was hilarious because he took his driver's test 5 times or 7 times or something and kept failing. So he really needed help. I mean, he can't even drive, right? And then you all of a sudden have this guy that quit his pizza job, was being a taxi driver. I think it was Daniel's name was, right? And, he had the awesome car and everything. He was like, yeah, I need you. I need your help. I'm not going to lock you up. You do this for me, I'm going to wipe your record clean, right? I thought that was really fun and, propelled the movie, of course, as being the main line on them tracking down the German gang. I also thought there were some really cool plot twists, right? It wasn't just like a car movie or just like a kind of soulless action comedy. I thought it had some substance to it. First of all, I love the way, it was filmed, the 90s nostalgia hit for sure. I mean, this is late 90s. I want to say it was a good mix between, I felt older movies just had a little more, they hit different. They had a little more substance, and a lot of newer movies kind of fall flat. I think that's a theme that people are aware of, that a lot of new movies, not all of them, but a lot of new ones are just not that good anymore. Everything seems to be like a remake, right? And a lot of movies are just kind of dull or too long or whatever, right? This movie was legit good, and it had that 90s way about it. That I feel like a lot of 90s movies were excellent. I also say that it was still modern. It didn't feel outdated, if that makes sense, right? The movie was done well, edited well, all that stuff. It felt good, and it didn't feel like I was watching a movie that aged poorly, if that makes sense. This movie can go toe-to-toe with anything, in my opinion. I thought it was really, really good. Back to the plot twists, I did not see it coming when these guys, it shows one of the original bank robberies, and these guys have the bright red Mercedes, which you think, oh, man, well, at least that'll be easy to catch, right? If you're the police, you have these 2 bright red Mercedes amongst all these muted color hatchbacks and vans around traffic there in France. It seems like kind of a bad getaway car, right? It's going to be easy to spot. I did not picture them pulling in the back of a truck, and then I'm like, oh, okay, they're just going to drive around a truck. That's smart. That'll be a little harder to catch. No, they went a step further. They repainted, they resprayed the cars, right? In 5 or 10 minutes, pulled them out and drove away again with these totally more subtle run-of-the-mill Mercedes that are just silver or gray, blends in with everything. I did not see that coming. I thought, oh, they're making big brain moves. That was kind of a cool plot twist, and of course threw off all the police on their trail, including that inspector, right? But I'm a car guy, I'm an action guy, so of course, like the car scenes, or I should say the car chase scenes were my favorite, right? The original scene, which I did not realize was literally like in the first 5 minutes of the movie, where he takes that one passenger that has to make it to the airport that's really far away and there's going to be lots of traffic. He's like, oh, I need to be there in 25 minutes. And so, of course, the main character, Daniel, right, he starts flying. He puts the car into the super mode, and he starts flying around, driving like crazy because he's a good driver and he knows how to drive fast. And, of course, the guy's in back like, whoa, I don't need you to go this fast. I don't want you to lose your license. And he's like, I don't even have a license. Right? Like, it had a good mix of action and a good mix of, like, comedic relief, too. Like, it was hilarious, right? A good balance going on. And of course, he gets there and the guy gets out and, they get there in record time and the guy gets out and starts, vomiting on the sidewalk because he couldn't handle the speed, clearly. There were a lot of cool moments like that. And of course, the car chases with the Mercedes, you had these two intimidating looking German Mercedes 500s and then this, Peugeot that was also cool and was really fast with a good driver, but it was kind of cool, like seeing those car chase scenes. I mean, who doesn't love a good car chase? These were some of the best car chases, right? Definitely like top 10. I wouldn't even know really like a bunch of car chases off the top of my head and act like I can rank them all. But this was definitely one of the more enjoyable and fun, car chase scene movies as a whole. Like, it was always great and kind of spot on. And you even had, the classic police car tropes, right? All these police vehicles, French police vehicles, which was, of course, new for me to seeing them wipe out and get T-boned and all that stuff. So it was a good mix of crashing and stunt driving and all that stuff. I did read that they had legit Formula One drivers as stunt drivers for this. I think that's extra cool, of course. And to close out the plot twist, I thought it was fun when he kept taunting. Of course, he kept taunting the Germans into like these races, right? It was kind of cool how they raced on a track at one point, and then of course, towards the final, parts of the movie into the car chase, right? The final one, and the fact that he led them kind of onto that bridge on the highway or whatever that was under construction, and he like slammed on the brakes, and they kept going and jumped. And they ended up landing on this, middle of nowhere piece of bridge that wasn't connected to anything. So they had nowhere to go, right? And it was kind of crazy. I was like, whoa, kind of a cool finish. So they were, of course, presumably captured at that point because they have nowhere to go. And they're way up in the air. I thought that was kind of a cool shot, right? A lot of cool shots for, still 98. 98 wasn't that long ago. It's not like we're talking about the Stone Ages. But, 98 still... with the way technology has progressed, it's still a while ago compared to literally right now, all the options they have with CGI, all this crazy tech and cameras. I thought it was filmed like really good, right? A lot of cool action shots. And I guess it would have been helicopter shots because I don't think they were flying around, drones like we have nowadays. So, yeah, I mean, definitely the filmography from that standpoint with the cars and the actions and the chases, I thought was really good and really enjoyable as well. But I mean, other than that, I don't really know like how much more I could talk about. I just really, really enjoyed it. My wife and I enjoyed it. Our kids were kind of playing on the other side of the room, and they were, watching here and there. I think they're a little young, by the way. Like, I don't think they really know what's going on in this kind of movie a lot, but I think they enjoyed what they saw. I did catch them watching during the car chase, which is fun. I mean, that's what I used to do as a kid, too. I would always be down for watching car chases in movies. I mean, who doesn't like that? It's pretty fun. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it. I don't know. I guess I kind of do with other things, like with taste tests and the beer tests and things. I guess I would just rate it out of 10, 1 being horrible, 10 being the best. This is right up my alley for movies. I really appreciate that people suggested that I watch this because this is totally something that I would enjoy. And sure enough, I did enjoy it. I would give this honestly, remember, this is not a movie critic type stuff. Some of them are weird. I don't know how, I think movie critics are always different than most people, right? for me, as just a casual person that watched this and enjoyed it, I would definitely give this a 9 out of 10. I loved it. I thought it was fun. I would watch it again. I will watch it again probably soon. I'm the type of person that when I really watch a movie, or when I really like a movie rather, I watch it multiple times, right? So I can see myself watching this a couple times a year. I would watch it again very soon, just for the fact that when I watch movies for a second time, I usually notice other things and kind of embrace it even more, kind of see it through a different lens once you've seen it already. So yeah, I really liked it. I do know that people have told me that they made quite a few sequels, and then of course there was an American remake, or American like copy version, right? Just called Taxi as well, and that was from 2004. I will not be seeing that. I saw the trailer for it. It looks goofy, right? It looks funny, right? The only part I liked was that the taxi is a Ford Crown Victoria, which is, of course, they couldn't have picked a better car for the American version, because that is always used as police cars and taxis, right? I love that car. I have one. I adore those cars. But other than that, the movie looks ridiculous from the trailer. I saw enough. So I will not be watching the American version. I just don't have any interest. I never saw it back in the day. I never even heard of it back in the day. I don't think it was a big success here, probably for good reason, right? I feel like Taxi, the original French one from 98, seems to have a good following. From my comment section, from what I've seen online, it seems like a pretty well-renowned or beloved movie that people generally like, and for good reason, I think. When it comes to the sequels, I might see the second one and the third one. I don't know if I can make my way through 5 of these, right? Because I feel like with any movie, when they're watered down that much, when you start getting into episode 5 and 6 and 7, I feel like that gets a little much, right? How good could it be after that long? Probably not the best, right? Same with the Fast and Furious movies. I love those, but when I say I love those, I'm really talking about the first 2, right? Maybe Tokyo Drift in there. I'll be honest, they're on what, like Fast and Furious 12 now or something? I haven't watched past like episode 3 or 4, if that makes sense. I don't even follow those either. When it gets to be too much, it's too much. But yeah, so I will probably see Taxi 2 and 3 at the most, and you'll have to let me know in the comments, if you're a fan of those, and how do they kind of coexist with the first one. I have a feeling with a lot of things, the first one probably will hold up as the best. So yeah, that's kind of my review. Like I said, I didn't want to do a reaction on it. I wanted to watch it at my own time, on my own pace, and just kind of give my thoughts on it. I feel like that would have been just better. And, movie reactions are weird anyway. A lot of them get blocked and stuff, so I didn't even want to deal with that. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. I cannot wait to see in the comments, because like I said, the comments from that original clip that I did watch here on the channel were awesome, and you guys kind of showed me a lot about what to expect and what to look for with these movies. Tons of people encouraged me to watch it, and I'm glad I did. It was really, really cool, and I definitely missed out on this because it really got my mind thinking, how many awesome movies did I miss out on that aren't, probably just aren't showed here a lot. But hey, that's about it for this one. My name is Ian. You're watching IWrocker. Until next time, y'all. Catch you later.